everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're going to start a new odd jobs and small projects video. First up is this thing. It's going to be a trailer mover for the tractor. It's made out of an old trailer hitch that we had kicking around, so that's going to get welded on up there like that, and we're going to put this gusset on it. We've got a couple of pins we've cobbled up to weld into the angle iron there, and we'll have a little 3-point hitch trailer mover. I forgot to film this as I was doing it, but I mean, you get the idea. This was an old trailer hitch, one of them old ones that you used to go down to the welding shop and get made for your car. That was on there like that. It went way up and had another cross piece. This hitch was originally on a 75 Chrysler Newport that my brother and me made into a demo derby car, 30 years ago, it's got to be. And then the hitch come off of that, and it got modified a little bit and put on the old 76 Dodge half-ton. You can see, look at the nice wow in it. It was on there. Deb's dad was driving it, and he got rear-ended in Lindsay. And that put that big wow. I mean, that's a pretty chunky hunk of angle iron, eh? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It can have a wow in it for what we're going to do. I would like to have just welded this thing to here, you know. But the problem is, just to keep your 3-point hitch working properly, you want about 18 inches vertically between the centers of these two pins. And to do that, we got to get it up there, which is fine. We can do that. And we've narrowed this up. 3-point hitch category 1. You want about 26 inches across, so we've done that. All it's left to do is clean some rust off of this crap and start welding. Well, that took me years, but I actually managed to empty a roll of welding wire. I wonder if I have any around here. That's pretty good. Super. All I've got to do now is drill the holes in the pins. I've got one started already here. We've got to drill them out to 7/16 so our linch pins will fit in, and then we can weld these pins on. Now we can burn on the pins, and you want them like that. We'll put that little washer on just to give it kind of a backstop. And what you want is from the backstop to the center of the linch pin hole, you want about 2.5 inches. That turned out pretty good. I'm going to let it sit here and cool off overnight, and then in the morning we'll put some rust primer on it and give it a coat of paint. Should look mint. Nugget, why are you under the truck? You crazy dog. Next thing we're going to do is see if this old winch that we bought at the auction works. Look out, guys. Watch your noses. So basically, the red wire is hot, and then these two, we're missing the controller switch that would plug in here on the relay cover. And you toggle it back and forth, and it either picks this solenoid or that solenoid to make it go in or out. So we'll just pick one. See, we've got a bad connection somewhere. Hang on. Our battery that we had was pretty much pooch, so I've gone and grabbed the booster pack now. It doesn't really put out the heavy current that, like if we were winching a car to the ditch or something, but to just run the electric motor, it should be plenty. All right. That's out. And that's in. Fantastic. We've got ourselves a good 8,000-pound Ramsey winch. So, what we got to do next is I got to clean it up, and I have to take this part of the end apart because this is our gearbox and it's stuck. So this is this collar, you grab it by here and you move it to neutral so you can pull the cable freewheel out. Right now it's stuck. So at least we don't have to worry too much about the motor end of it. We just have to take the planetary end apart. Should be good. So we've got us a good winch. Winch rehab will be a separate video. We at least just wanted to make sure it works. Moving right along on the odd jobs, Deb has made good on her threat from the other day to help me reorganize the junkyard tools. Yeah, we have a clown show going on in the background, or a freak show, or a dog show, whatever you want to call it. So, first thing we're going to deal with is the socket set, and it's not really all that bad. It's just that this is the original piece of foam that was in it that keeps everything from rattling, and it's just shot. So what happens every time you pick the thing up, these little bits in the middle rows here all become discombobulated. So Deb's found some thicker foam in the house. We're going to cut a new piece and put it in there and see what happens. So here's our new piece of foam. It's a lot thicker stuff. Deb had it in her sewing stuff in the house. And now you can pick this thing up and shake it and everything stays put onto the toolbox. So this is my world famous junkyard toolkit. This is like my serious junkyard toolkit. I've got a littler one that I can carry around. This one has to go in a wagon. And as you can see, it is a mess. I don't know why there's a squeegee in there. So we're going to empty everything out of this, sort it all out, and try to put it back in a little bit more of an order. And maybe I'll go through it, and there might be a few things in there that I can say, you know what, I've never used that. It's not going back in. Well, here's everything out of it. And I actually gave it a vacuum. This toolbox has been with us a long time. This is from when I first started racing. This thing, old toolbox, and it's been through the ringer. For a piece of plastic, it's actually been proving itself pretty tough. So now what we'll do is kind of start loading the stuff back in and maybe go through it a little bit and take some stuff out if it's something we feel we haven't used in ages. So we'll see. Like stuff like this, the little impact driver. When I go to the junkyard, I've pretty much always got my my cordless. This is before I had cordless tools, so this doesn't really need to be in there anymore. I'm going to put this in my travel and light junkyard kit. Next thing that can come out is this little small set of stripped bolt removers, because these are all duplicated in this larger set. And this is a set of deep ones, and this is for removing stripped screws. And these ones are for removing troublesome lug nuts. We sorted out all our wrenches, and I found out I only sort of had a half a set of metric wrenches, which is why the other day we were in the wreckers, and I couldn't find an 18 millimeter wrench. Well, no wonder, because I didn't have one. Anyway, so I found a whole set of metric wrenches in my junk. So we're going to put all the wrenches in now, and we'll keep working our way up. Here's a few extra large sockets above and beyond what's in the socket set that I do need occasionally. So these will just kind of fit in this corner here in the wrench drawer. Next drawer up is going to be our steering wheel puller and all our plier type things. So that's pretty darn good now. The top is nice. Every drawer is good. And with stuff that's actually related. What we found when we were going through this, there were some things that, tools from the shop that we'd been going to the wreckers to do like a specific job, and we needed certain tools, so I'd throw them in there, but they never seemed to get taken back out later. So anyway, that's good. We're all set for the next time we go to the boneyard. Thanks, Deb. Now, as you can see, we've got our old laptop opened up again. After we worked on it the last time, I've had it running, and now when the fan runs, it's noisy. So what I found was it wasn't really sitting in there well, and I didn't really see anything else wrong with it. I wanted to make sure there was there wasn't a wire stuck in it or something, which there is not. No other foreign object is in there. It must be something that I did wrong, because up until I took this apart, the fan ran a lot, but it ran well. It was relatively quiet for a fan. And this noise, this growling noise, has started since we had it apart last time. So what I've done was I just bent this a little bit to get it sitting back flat how it should. This here is this is like a heat sink. The CPU is over here, and this copper bar transmits the heat over to this heat sink, or there's a radiator if you want to call it, and the fan blows it through. So hopefully now we're going to put it back together and try it and see if it runs quiet. Otherwise, I've already sourced a new fan. It's only $10, right? But it's not going to come here for a few weeks. Because this is an old machine, it's not something I can exactly get like that. Another thing I finally figured out while I was in here, remember the last time we found this little spring and we couldn't figure out where it was from? Well, I figured out where it's from. It goes right here. This is the mechanism that locks and unlocks your battery. And there's supposed to be two little pins like that, and this plastic pin had broken off. So what I did was I crazy glued a properly bent staple to here. So now we can, there, that's where the spring goes. Now we're going to close it up and we'll try it again. Got all the screws back in. Now we just have to get the keyboard back in. No, didn't catch it that time. There we go. There, that's in now. Now we'll pop the battery back in and fire it up. Lock. There we go. So you can see now that thing springs back like it's supposed to. We'll lock it, and that's it. Now let's fire it up. See what happens. I can hear the fan running just ever so quietly, and there's a little breeze coming out of here, so maybe we fixed it. Let's see. We're still waiting for it to come to life. Looks good. It's nice and quiet. Google came right up. I think we got it, but only time will tell. Now that we've got the fan all fixed up on our laptop, it's working super. It's been a couple of days now and everything's good. No more funny noises. It doesn't run hot, anything like that. But I've got keyboard problems. When we first did all the work on this back in the computer video, we put a new keyboard in this because the old one was falling apart. The problem with this one is that it, like, you're typing away, and even though you push the key the way you would normally push a key, nothing comes up on the screen. Like you have to really push some of them. And I would find that if I was typing an email or something, I'd have to fix like 3 words in every sentence. So I've gone ahead and got another keyboard. This one is a different brand. So we're going to go ahead and pop this one in and see if it's any better. It's all we can do at this point. So you remember how we get this thing out? You have to kind of grab it. It's got these little teeth that lock it in, and it's just a matter of getting it started by this little, you got to get this little tooth here out. And then she pops right out. We get this corner popped out, then we can just go across and pop the rest of it out. You know the drill. Release the ribbon connector. And now you can see the difference in these keyboards. Subtle but slight. They're definitely different keyboards. So we're going to pop this one in and see how it goes. These don't go in as easy when they're new. There we go. All right, there's our ribbon cable hooked up. And then we get those teeth engaged in the front and then just push her down. This one even fits better than that one did. So maybe, just maybe, we're on to something. So I'll take it over to the desk, plug it back in, get it fired up, and we'll give it a road test. Well, thankfully that fixed it. I've been horsing around on social media and forums and stuff that I'm on, and the typing is going well. I haven't had any problems with this keyboard. So there was something wrong with that other one. It was like $10 on eBay. I don't have the original box for it anymore. It's not even worth pursuing. But it's still, at least it mostly works. We'll keep it for an emergency backup. Next, we're going to do some art. And, well, first we need to make a little kind of picture frame. It's going to be 13 by 11. And we're going to use this 1x2 pine. I'm going to use this piece of tongue and groove pine. It's just 5/16 of an inch thick for a backing. So we're going to have to make a, not really a rabbit. I'm not sure what you call this. If it was for a shelf, it'd be a rabbit. But we're going to have to take out like that on the back side of it. So we'll do that on the table saw. And we'll accomplish that with 2 cuts. One this way and one that way. Theoretically, a dado cutter would be the way to do this if I had one, or the router table, but I'm just too lazy to get it out for such a small job. So there's the first cut in all of them. Now we'll run them back through. Where's the one I marked? That one there. And we'll cut there, and that will take that piece out. There you are. And there's the little bits we took out. So far, so good. Now we'll need to cut, I would guess, 3 pieces of this to fit in there, and I'll probably have to rip one down just a tiny bit. Perfect. Now we can glue it up and get it put together. Now we get our corner clamp set up, and I got a little glue on it, and we'll clamp it in there. And I've got some 3/4 long nails in our brad nailer. And we'll put a few nails in the corner here. Now I've got the backing in, and I'm going to switch to a smaller gum with tiny little brads or staples or something. There we go. Now we'll let the glue dry. Now this is all, the glue and everything is all dried. I've scuffed it up with some sandpaper, and we're going to put some stain on it. This stain is, what is it? Where's the lid? I don't know, I saw the name on it. Cherry. So this is pine. This is cedar. We'll see what it looks like. I put the stain on with this here foam brush. And then after I let it soak for a little bit, I wipe it off with this rag. And you can see here, it's not a bad finish. We'll let this dry up for a little bit, and then we'll put a couple of coats of semi-gloss Varathane on top of it. First barbecue of 2023. Well, that looks pretty good. Now on to the next step. I'll show you that once it's done. Next step is finished. Wonder what in the world it is I'm making, eh? So here's the next step. We're making a little bit of epoxy art. This is just a collection of blown up engine parts from all my years of racing. I want to make this up and hang it up out in the shop. Here's our epoxy kit we got off Amazon. So we're going to mix this stuff up and pour it in. We've got everything positioned kind of how we want it. And we'll be able to hang this up on the wall in the shop. Alright, so we're going to mix this stuff together in here. And then we'll go pour it in there. So you can see in there we've got it all mixed up. I've gone ahead and just taped up the edges of this thing because I don't want the stuff kind of, getting all over the edge. And it's not even going to fill this up completely, but it should fill up enough to grasp onto those parts and hold them in there. And then once you've got the stuff in there, you just use a heat gun, and that apparently gets rid of the bubbles. Yeah, you can see that. The bubbles are all coming out of it. You can also use a small propane torch. But seeing as how I'm doing this in my house, I don't know if this stuff could go on fire or not. So, Cooper, Nugget, get your noses out of this. Guys. So we'll just keep working it with this till all the bubbles are gone. Oh, that looks pretty cool. There's still a few little bits floating around in it, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy with the way this thing turned out. It's really heavy, eh? Like, heavy. So I'm going to have to think about what mechanism I use to hang it. I'm thinking of just screwing a little hunk of chain to the back. That'll look kind of cool. But until I find a place to hang it, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to hang it. So for now, it can just sit here and let this stuff cure up really good and hard. And then we'll take it out in the shop and find a place to hang it. Well, that's going to wrap up that one. We got lots of stuff done, and I'm really happy with the way that plaque or shadow box or picture, whatever you want to call it, turned out. Anyway, going to take off now. I want to thank you for tuning in. Hope you'll come back and see what we're up to next time. And until then, this is Kevin saying so long from the Claremont Classic Garage.